Willie D Live.
You know what I'm saying? I would have never thought Nas King's Disease album would that I would be so in love with it like I was. And you know why I loved it? Because it was a grown Nas talking about stuff that he didn't get to talk about in his past in that album. So all he really is doing is reflecting on the old days, but kicking it in today, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing you could do. You could go back and visit or a bunch of stuff when you was young and talk about it, but I'm fucking with it, right? Because you talking to a mature person giving game to your young self.
Yeah, I absolutely understand the method. I understand what to do. You know, like I'm really truly a writer, so I understand and I study this whole thing for real. Mm-hmm. So I understand what to do, how to go in and you know, and because I do have a strong audience of people who listen to what I have to say right now. Because all I did was, you know, took the information that I had, you know, coming up and doing the music and just put it in a talk show format. That's all I really did. The conversation we're having right now is a conversation I would have had on Wax, you know, years ago. If you go back and really listen, you know, there was always social political information in those records. Right. So I absolutely get what you're saying. I'm just saying that it costs to make those records more, and the ROA is the ROI is not as profitable as it used to be.
But it's not as costly as it was back then too. You don't have the Sony studios. You're not recording on the reel no more.
I got it.
So the budget is going to be much lower, you know what I'm saying, to put out a project. And the mixing is going to be much lower, right? So the profit margin, you might not sell 1 million records, right? But you can sell 50,000 and make a good profit, and then go on the road and go and do your nostalgic hits along with some of your new stuff and make money off of your shows.
I absolutely get it, but here's what I guess what I'm really trying to impress upon you also is the other side of that. There's a dichotomy where where you're also looking at the fact that a lot of times the record will not be heard. Like back in the Gap, we had radio, and if you make records, you spend your time making these records, producing these records. Mm-hmm. You want, as an artist, you want your shit to be heard. You don't want to just do it for yourself. Mm-hmm. You want your music to be heard. And so because the radio do have an attitude of this being a young man's game, mm-hmm. that they're not playing, I don't care how dope it is, the 40-something, the 50-something, or the 60-something-year-old's record on the radio. Yeah, there's gonna always be a juggernaut here and there where right. Somebody gonna squeak through the cracks. Right. But when you make these music and you make these songs and you put your heart into these songs, man, you want the world to hear these songs. And obviously we got online. I know you cover where you're going. We got online and there's avenues right there. But again, you know, you're talking about spending bread. You still got, even online, you still got to spend bread to rise above the fray. It still requires, even though it's not as much as it used to be, it still requires a considerable investment.
I challenge you to do a new single, right? Put out a new single, one song, right? And every show, tag that single in the beginning or end of your show and put the link to it in your description box in every video. And I guarantee you'll sell 50,000 units.
See, that's the problem. I want to sell 50 million.
You may. I'm going low and say 50,000, yeah. Right? Because now your reach is much more broader, right? You know, YouTube, you know, your shows ain't just watch. Look at your metrics, your demographics. Yeah, yeah. Mine's is New York, Atlanta, and then it's Canada, then it's the Great Britain, then it's Germany, then it's Africa, then it's the Netherlands, then it's Ireland. Like, these are like my top markets right there. Some of I've been to most of these places, right? I've been to all of them except for Ireland, maybe, right? But the point is that your reach is much more bigger now, right? So you don't have to fucking worry about radio no more, right? And you still got LL Cool J's Rock the Bells who cater to your audience. The LL Rock the Bells will play your new music. And that's satellite radio and that streams worldwide. You know what I'm saying? The game is different, but you just got to know how to monopolize off it. And I guarantee you put out a new single that's hard. And I guarantee you, if you tag it and promote it on your show, you put the description and the link to that single, I guarantee you will sell 50,000 in less than 3 months.